You're not all supposed to stop talking when I walk in the room. We were just talking about the Queen with Edward, who's worked in the palace, and etc., and some of our exposures to the Queen of England, which I've had too myself. But we have two gals. One, two. One's married. Hopefully not to him. Bad luck, you know, as they say. We have more or less a United Nations, as we normally do, people from all over the world. And I've said countless times, I'm really tired of saying it, really. If you had been successful, you wouldn't be here. Some of you have had certain degrees of success in certain portions of your life, but not in creating generational wealth. Although we got a few people in the room, a couple at least, that have some, what we normally be considered money. Not by my standards, but by your standards. But this is your last gasp, guys. And I'm just going to call you guys. I'm not going to say guys and gals, because, but there's a couple of gals. This is your last gasp. If you don't make it from here, you're fucked. You've tried everything known to man. Whether you're from Doha, Suriname, Singapore, the U.S., the U.K., Australia, you've tried everything. Now, three of you haven't tried nothing, because this is your first venture out into what I call the vicious world of reality. Those kids have a better chance of making this work than all the rest of you, because they don't have the baggage, because they don't understand. We've actually had people at this seminar in the last 25 years that don't know who Tony Robbins is. We've actually had people in this seminar who don't know who all the current gurus are. But those aside, this is it. I'm not going to give you the last saloon, the last town, and the world is flat. I'm not going to go through all that shit like I normally do. This is it, and you know it. But the one thing that I only make 2 guarantees during the seminar, I'm going to make one tonight, is that from this point forward, you can never say you don't know how to do it. From this point forward, you can't say that. I mean, truthfully say it. You'll say it anyway. You'll bullshit, and the old man was a psychopath, and the castle that he doesn't own. Yeah, bullshit. But you can never say with your hand on your heart that you don't know how to do it, because you're going to be given not just the tools in the toolbox, not just the be able to conduct the orchestra as the conductor. You're going to know how the fucking game's really played. Most of you will fail. That's a flat given. We're running at 60%. Divorce rate, business split-ups, partnerships, whatever you call them now, split-ups, 60%. And we stopped counting at 60% because we don't want to say 90% because, Vinica and my staff say they'd come anyway, Dan, if there was 100% failure. Because you're that motherfucking desperate. You don't have a fucking clue. You don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and you come here. Why? God only knows. Only a stupid Aussie, By the way, for those of you, thank you for your service. We are, I don't know if blessed or damned. We have a former commando. We have a fucking jarhead Marine. We have a current active duty special operations Australian. We have some guys that supposedly are badass. They're not. They're fucking twat cunts. And we'll show you just how big a twat they are during the week. But it's unbelievable. I had a 90-minute Ask Dan thing live I don't know if it's called a webinar or whatever it's called, a live feed. And for 26 plus years, I've been asked the same fucking questions over and over and over. And I've been giving the same answers for 26 years, over and over and over. We are now on our second generation of meatheads. Now, why do they ask me the same questions? Some of you have really done some research vis-a-vis looking back at my old tapes, etc., etc. You see how I answered the questions in 1994, 7, 9, 2005, 2010, 2014, 2007. But you still ask the same fucking questions. Why? I more or less exposed, I didn't really try to expose Napoleon Hill, who's an icon in the book he wrote. I always used to bring up the point, what kind of guy would abandon his son just because he was born with no ears? Am I the only cocksucker on the fucking planet, of the 7.7 billion people, that knows that he abandoned his son that was born with no ears? I might be. It's on the 37th page if you do Napoleon Hill. You look at the first, what? Third page of Google, right? How many, well, I won't ask that question because I know the answer. But now the book, and the book is 3 years old, points out that of course I knew all this, he's been bankrupt 3 times. He's been in jail 5 times. This is Napoleon Hill. He may have never interviewed Andrew Carnegie. Now, of course, I still say, why would a 19-year-old boy spend the weekend with a 65-year-old man? Why? And he's not from the Middle East. He's not from Doha. He's not from the United Arab Emirates, where they fuck boys for practice. Why would you believe that fucking story? I exposed, operative word intended, at my last talk, that personal development and self-help is a scam. I've been saying it for 26 motherfucking years. I'm getting a lot of feedback about that. We're going to talk about it tomorrow morning. Why is personal development and self-help a scam? Because you can't measure it. Who's going to tell me that this young man is better from attending a so-and-so seminar? Money's not the only thing in life, but it's the only motherfucking thing that anybody keeps track of. I can tell you 2 years from now, when he's got $11.7 billion in the bank, that this motherfucker works. We're going to show some examples during the week. We're getting a plethora, that means a whole bunch for you retards, a plethora of results in from people who never came to the seminar, who never met me, who never talked to me, that have turned QLA, which is all free on my website. One guy from South Africa, 13 million. He discovered me on January the 6th or 7th, probably in a stupor hangover. And by May 15th or 18th, he deposited a 13 fucking million in his goddamn bank account using QLA. He didn't pay me 20 grand to be here. But you're here to show you your desperation. People only come to me for 2 reasons: inspiration and desperation. And there's not a motherfucker in here that's inspired. Now I'm going to tell you right now, accountants, lawyers, Jews from Israel, 5-day prayer Muslims, multiple degrees, scientists, this is hard for you. Because you've been trained, lawyers, you've been trained with fact patterns. And there's nothing about QLA that you can put in a fact pattern. If you fall into one of those categories, and there's several other categories, your odds are diminished of using QLA successfully. Why have we reduced the mentor program to 3 months? Because you used me for a crutch. It should be 3 days. My staff begged me. Don't eliminate it, Dan. They fucking begged me. We're sold out for the rest of this year, and we have 17 months backup for the next year going into 2020 fucking one. We have people sending us money for a seminar that isn't going to happen. They don't know the cost, and they still send us money. We have people paying 30,000 pounds on a black website. I don't know if that's the right word. Black website to try to buy your slots for a seminar that only costs, I believe you, 15,000 pounds. But there's no seminars scheduled for next year. I may never give another QLA week-long seminar. Not the least of which, I'll be 74 in a few weeks. That's not the real reason. But I have 2 book deals on the table. I have 2 documentaries on the table. I have 1 movie on the table. I have 1 reality show where I'm going to beat the shit physically with my fists. Millennials. And I want to save myself for 2021 in case I'm asked to join the administration in Washington, D.C. So 2019 may be it. I hope to fucking God it is. Because you have no idea how tired I am looking at you. You have no idea, after 26 fucking years, how tired I am of telling meatheads like you, and you bitch, what the fuck to do, and then you're going to fail. Most of you are going to fail within the first 30 days. You get it? And yet you still come. It's beyond my motherfucking comprehension. But that shows the level of desperation. That shows the level of desperation. You all aspire to be Josh Kim. Well, I can guarantee fucking to you, there's not a motherfucker in this room that's Josh Kim. And tomorrow, if you're late, the whole class suffers. If you don't do your homework, the whole class suffers. If you get in a fight outside the boxing ring, the whole class suffers, and you're out of the program. You can get strikes. You only have 2 strikes for you guys. You can be out of the program before the motherfucker starts. Do me a favor, fat ass. Drop out while you still can. Drop out while you still can. It's less work for me because I actually read all your shit. I'm ashamed to say. I'm embarrassed to say. Contrary to all the gurus that you listen to, there's not a cocksucker of you ones that you listen to that don't even know your fucking name. I'm embarrassed to say I actually know their names. Like the Aussie meathead here. Like our Muslim brothers. I'm being sarcastic. I dealt in the Middle East. I know the Middle East. And I know what they're good for. Not much. Is it time to eat? Or do I have to scream a few more minutes? Have to scream a few more minutes? Tomorrow morning, you're going to have homework tonight, and I'll brief you on it. If you don't do your homework in written form, just instead of saying you didn't do the homework, just leave, because you're out of the program. So let's save a little time. For those of you that English is not your primary language, I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have come to the seminar then. Or you should have hired an interpreter. And just remember, thank you, every mistake you make is multiplied by 23 because everybody else in the program is going to suffer. On that happy note, Sally? Dinner is served.